morning, everyone. It's Catherine Janice with AWI, just getting ready for our 10 a.m. functional fitness workout. I'm still putting on my tennis shoes. I kind of feel like Mr. Rogers, although I think he took them off when he was coming home. So we do have our virtual happy hour this evening at 5 o'clock, so I hope you can join us. Our workout this morning is going to be a weight workout, so if you have weights to use, grab those, or if you have weight substitutes like canned goods or your own handmade hand weights, like I've filled sand in some old water bottles, that works well. Good morning, hey there. And then also, just speaking of equipment, if you've borrowed some equipment from AWI, we're glad that you have that handy and just want you to dust it off and make sure it's getting some use. So just keep that nearby. So hey everyone, we're gonna get started with a warm-up, just get the body moving. You can do these movements seated or standing, and then we'll go into some full body strengthening exercises. So hopefully you are having a good week so far. We're going to start with a march in place. Bend the arms, let them move forward and back. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. And then we'll take it out to a wide march. And then we'll go to our curl back. And then let the arms move a little bit more. So whatever feels good. They might bend and straighten. They might reach and pull. But just see if you can get the upper body moving as well as the lower body. That's going to help increase the heart rate, increase our breathing. And let's bring it around with a high knee lift. Again, whatever the arms want to do, and you can do these movements seated if you rather. Good morning, hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Let's extend the arm and the opposite leg. Arm and opposite leg extension. Good, keep going. And let's take it to a side stretch. So wide feet, reach up, shift the weight over to the other side, and extend. Now let's take it behind the body, hand to opposite foot. And then bring it around in front. Same thing, reach the hand to the opposite foot or the opposite leg. And next, let's take the arms and backstroke. So if you're feeling a little tight, bend the arms some more. Make it a smaller movement. For more stretch, can you get a straighter arm? Reach back, feel the shoulder open, up out of the chest and lift out of the rib cage. And then swing the arms, crossing one on top of the other. All right. So our workout today, again, it's going to be a full body weight workout. So if you have hand weights, go ahead and grab those. If you have a body bar, if you have a kettlebell, if you don't have weights, you can use weight substitutes, or you can just do these movements without any weight, just going through that range of motion. So our first exercise, we're going to do a chest press or a dumbbell press. So if you were able to come down onto your back or lean into the couch or maybe prop up some pillows, that works well. Or you can sit on the front of your couch and lean back. If you rather, you can do push-ups instead. But the movement You're going to take a weight in each hand. You're going to straighten the arms over the chest and bend the arms down to a 90-degree bend. So bend and straighten. Now we want to keep the belly muscles pulled in strong. If you want, you can lift up one or both feet and hold them in a tabletop. That will be more challenge for the low back. A variation to the basic chest press is to add a crossover. So let one arm come in front, bend, and switch the front arm. Inhale as you bend, exhale as you extend. If you want, you can add a little movement for the lower body. Let one leg straighten, bring it in, and then the other. Let's do a few more. Last one. All right. Go ahead and set the weights down. Shake out the arms. Pull the shoulders down out of the ears. From here, let's push our feet down. Lift the hips up into a bridge. And then lower back down. So a few bridges just to get a nice stretch across the hip flexors. Last one. And then we'll come back down. Our next weighted exercise, still for the upper body. Now we're going to get a little bit more into the back. For this exercise, I'm just going to use one weight, and you can hold it long ways or crossways, and you're going to take the weight overhead and then pull it over the chest. So extend and pull. See if you can keep your shoulders down and also your rib cage down. So we want to resist the urge to let the ribs pop up. So our pullover. Option to add the knee pulling in, setting down, and then the other one. Option to have both knees tuck in, or option to add a little curl up. So depending on how much weight you're using, feel free to choose any of these options. Couple more. And rest. All right. Let your legs shift side to side, loosen up the wrists. And then roll to one side and go ahead and press yourself up, just checking in. Good morning. Hello, everyone. Grab some water anytime you need it, even if I don't say grab water, help yourself. And we're going to come up to standing, and we're going to bring the weights up onto our shoulders. We're going to push the hips back and down like you were sitting into a chair, and then stand. If you want, go ahead and use an actual chair or the edge of your couch so you have something to aim your tail onto. And then check in with your feet. You can have the feet wide or narrow. Just make sure your toes and your kneecaps are going in the same direction. Nice full breath with the weights up on the shoulders. We are loading the spine safely and the hips, and that's one of the benefits of resistance training or weight training is load bearing for our bone density. 2 more. Last one. Nice job. Coming up, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. The next movement we're going to do a hinge or a deadlift. I'm going to change my weight to a single kettlebell. And we're going to set the weight down in front of us. If you're using a dumbbell, you can have it on its head so it's easier to reach for. So take your feet out, shoulder width, roll the shoulders back, push your hips back, and then rise tall. So imagine your tail, we're going to touch the wall behind you. To add the weight, you're going to hinge forward, squeeze the tail, and pull. So you want to reach for the weight and pull. So you choose how far forward to hinge. How far do we go? It's as far as you can go with good form. So when you start to lose your nice alignment in the back, then that's as far as you need to go. A little variation to our hinge. You can tap one foot back and then pull, tap the other foot back and pull, or you can hover the foot. Let's do a few more. Notice the difference on one side versus the other side. Last one here. Good. And set it down. Shake it out, roll it out. Swing the arm, just keep the body moving. All right, our next movement is basically that last exercise with a little bit more momentum. So it's still going to be a hinge, but we're going to add the swing. So I'm going to use a single dumbbell. Take your feet wide, push the hips back, and then push the hips forward. You could do this with your kettlebell. You could do this with a bottle of water. I know some of y'all are getting creative using a big bottle of wine. Don't want to lose your grip on that. And depending on how much weight you're swinging, you could even alternate one hand with the other hand. So just like our traditional hinge or deadlift, we want to keep that flat back or neutral spine. Nice full breath. Let's take 4 more, 3 more, 2, and last one. All right. We're going to come back to an upper body strengthening move. So we're going to return either to the couch or onto your back for a chest fly. Option to use a little bit more support. You could stack up some pillows if you want, or you might have a stability ball at home. You can prop that up against the front edge of your couch, and that works well also. So we're going to come onto our back. Excuse me, take the weights up over the chest. Imagine you're hugging a big barrel. Open the arms out and come back to the center. Open and close. Keep going, just want to make sure. Good, I'm not missing any questions up there. So inhale, arms open, exhale, arms closed. Just like in our chest press, you could lift one or both legs, or add some movement to the lower body if you want. Just make sure you're still using nice, good form, good control for the upper body. Inhale, open, exhale, close. So we're strengthening the muscles in the front of the upper body. So in the chest, the pectoralis major, the pectoralis minor, the front of our shoulder, the anterior deltoid. How about 2 more? 2 and 1. Nice job. Set the weights off to the side. I'm going to move the pillows so I come a little bit flatter onto the floor, because our next exercise, for me, it's a little bit easier if my head is in the same line as my spine. So I'm going to hold one weight, a hand on each end. I'm going to bend the arms so the weight comes towards the forehead and extend the arms to the sky. So bend and extend. This is the lying French press, also known as the skull crusher. You want to keep the elbow right on top of the shoulder and then push the weight to the sky. Option to lift one or both feet, pull the belly muscles in. Option to extend one leg, bring it in and switch. Option to tap both heels and lift. You could use straight legs if you wanted more challenge. So this is strengthening the back of the upper arm, the triceps. It's also working on shoulder stability. 3, 2, and last one. All right, bring the weight in. I'm going to use my weight and rest it on the lower part of my torso. Ankles underneath the knees, push the feet down, lift the hips, come right back down into, we're moving into a gluteal bridge. Option to use the weight for a little bit more resistance. Keep going. Really squeeze the back side of the body as you lift your hips up and then lower with control. Let's take 3 more. 2, and last one. Nice job. Release the weight, roll to one side, press yourself up, grab a sip of water. Hopefully everyone is still with me and doing okay. I know we're having to get creative these days with our workouts and what we're using for weighted equipment. So we're going to come back to standing, and I'm going to use a few cans, what are these, garbanzo beans. They're about 1 pound each. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and we're going to do some shoulder strengtheners. Now the shoulder muscles, there's 3 main ones, the anterior, the lateral, and the posterior deltoid. So we're going to mix in some shoulder exercises. Option to do these seated, otherwise stand with good posture, and we're going to lift the arms out to the side and lower. So as you lift, go ahead and check that your wrist is flat. There's a slight bend at your elbow, and when you lift, just about shoulder height. We don't need to go much higher than that at all. Option to add a knee lift, and we want to make sure the belly muscles are pulled in to assist with that knee lift. That way, not all the work is going into the hip flexors. Resist the urge to hunch the shoulders up. We want to keep the shoulders down and let the arms float up. 3 more, 2 more, and last one. Big shoulder roll back. So that was working mostly the middle part of our shoulder. The next one we're going to do is for the back of the shoulder, the posterior deltoid. You can do these seated. Otherwise, standing, you're going to hinge forward, push the tail back, and imagine your arms were wrapping around that big barrel. So a moment ago we did the chest fly. This is a reverse fly. You're going to open your arms out to the side, and you want to squeeze between the shoulder blades. Check in with your wrists, they're flat. The elbow is going to keep a slight bend even as the arms open out to the side. So what we want to resist on this movement is letting momentum take over. So we do not want to do that. We want to keep good control, and this is a great strengthener for the muscles in the upper back between the shoulder blades. How about one more? Good, come all the way up. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. So the next one we're going to do is for the front of the shoulder, the anterior deltoid. Now the front of the shoulder is kind of the teacher's pet. It's always eager to help out and do some work. So I like to do the anterior shoulder exercises after the other 2. So with the shoulders rolled back, zip up the belly, and we're going to alternate a front raise. So you can do these seated, and check in with your wrist. You want the wrist flat. It's not flopping forward or backward. And as you raise up one arm and lower, can you squeeze an imaginary pencil between your shoulder blades? If you want a little more challenge and you feel comfortable with this movement, you can do a double front raise and lower. Double front raise and lower. Nice full breath. 2 more, and last one. All right, go ahead and set those weights down off to the side. Take a moment, loosen up your wrists, wiggle out your fingers. So depending on how much weight you were just holding, your hands were doing quite a bit of work, your forearms, and that's great for your grip strength. Okay, next we're going to come over to the wall and just take a seat onto a sturdy wall. So bring your feet hip to shoulder width distance, and you want to push your head back and your tail back onto the wall. To modify, you can come up a little taller. To intensify, can you bring your hips lower so your thighs are parallel with the floor? If this feels like plenty of work, just stay here. Another option would be to extend the arms, palms face forward, and either alternate an arm curl or a double arm curl, or find some hand weights. And now we have a weighted bicep curl. So what's great about this movement is it really helps with our form. So not only are we pressing the head back and the tail back, but we can also use the wall to press the back of the upper arm into the wall. Now the next time you bend the arms, we're going to hold it halfway. So if you look at your forearms, they're parallel with the floor. Pull the belly muscles in. We're going to extend one arm forward, bring it in. Other arm extend, bring it in, or double extension and bring it in. Push down through your heels to protect the knee joint. How about 4 more? 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Coming off the wall safely. You can set the weights down, shake it out, grab a sip of water. Hope everyone is still with me. Thank you for your participation, whether you're doing this with us live or you're doing it a little bit later on your own. Big shoulder rolls. Let's take a moment, get a nice active stretch for the front of the thighs, and those were the muscles doing a lot of work on that last exercise on the wall. So we want to give them a little stretch. All right, going back to some weights that you can safely use for alternating lunges with a hammer curl. So the hammer curl, the palm is going to face inward, elbows stay under the shoulders. Option to do a forward step and then back together, alternating your lead foot, or option to do a back step, alternating your lead foot. For more challenge, see if you can make a bigger step, and now you're going to bend both legs. Best you can, controlling the movement in the upper body. If you prefer the back step, that's fine. Keep up your nice control. And the next time your right foot is in back and your left foot is in front, you're going to hold it there. Bringing one or both weights behind the head, tuck the elbows. We're going to bend both legs and extend both legs. This might be plenty, just holding the weight behind the body. For a little bit more, we're going to bend and extend the arms and the legs. Keep the elbows close to the head, bend and extend. If using 2 weights is too much, safely set one down. Keep the elbows tucked. Let's do one more. Nice. Safely bring the weights in, march it out, and switch your front foot with your back foot. So right foot comes in front, left foot comes in back. Weights are going to rest on the shoulders. We're going to bend both legs and extend. This split stance is great for your balance. So if you're feeling wobbly, that's not a bad thing. Option to add one or both arms extending overhead. So as you rise up, straighten one arm and down, then the other arm, or you can do both. So an overhead press with our split stance squat or lunge. 4 more. 3, 2, and last one. Nice job. Go ahead and set the weights off to the side. A couple more weighted exercises. Grab some water. The pollen must be a little bit higher today. And having some itchy eyes. All right, we're going to do a one-arm row. So option to use one weight, kettlebell, dumbbell, can of soup, whatever you have. Option to do this seated. You could even do this kneeling. Otherwise, bring one foot in front, the other foot in back, roll the shoulders back, and row. So I have my left foot in front, my right foot in back. The weight in my right hand, I'm using a single kettlebell, and my left hand is resting onto my left thigh. So even though we are tipped forward slightly in the upper body, we want to keep the shoulders back. And we're drawing the weight up and back towards your hip socket, and then extend the arm. And just before your arm goes completely straight, you want to pull it back again. Let's do a few more. If you need more weight, you might hold 2 weights in one hand. And if you have larger hands, this makes it a little bit easier. But the muscles in the back are larger muscles than, let's say, the shoulders, so they can use a little bit more weight. 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Let's switch to the other side. Roll it out. Very important that you're keeping the core muscles or the abdominal muscles pulled in, and that's going to help support the low back. So I'm going to take my right foot, right hand in front, left foot in back, weight in the left hand, and we'll go for our row. So even if you're seated, or I should say especially if you're seated, check your posture. Sometimes when we're seated, we might get a little comfortable, a little bit lazy with our posture. The weights pull towards the hip socket. Nice squeeze, tuck the elbow, and then extend just before the arm goes all the way straight. Pull it back again. Now your back foot, you could lift your back heel, or you could lift your back foot entirely, so you're standing just on your front foot. How about 5 more? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Go ahead and set those down. Shake it out. Roll it out. And even though we're focusing on our weights this morning, our weight workout, depending on how much weight you're using and the tempo, you will notice the heart rate increase and your breathing deepen. So there are some aerobic benefits even when we do our strength and our weighted workout. Okay, let's come back to standing. Option to use weights in your hands, on your shoulders, or if you have a weighted bag, you can put that onto your back. The straps, you want them out to the ends of your shoulders, and that's also going to help lift the chest. Using the chair or the front of your couch if you need to, we're going to do our traditional squat. Variation, if your knees are talking to you, you could do a hinge. The hinge is going to be more focused into the hip and rise tall. Another variation that I'm going to do is a wide stance or sumo squat. So the weight can either be on your back, you can hold weights on your shoulders, you could rest weights on your hips or thighs, or even if you're not using weight, there is still benefit to just doing the movement with your own body weight moving under gravity. Now the next time we come down, let's hold it down and pick up one heel. I'm going to pick up my right heel and I'm going to pulse at the bottom of the movement. So it's just a smaller movement. Hold it down and switch heels. So right heel down, left heel up, and now pulse. Check in with your posture. Let me know when you feel these. Just kidding. Hold it down, lower the heel, and let's go back to that nice full range of motion. Feet flat to the floor, chest is lifted. How about 4 more? 3, 2, and 1. Good, come on in, release the weight. All right. Let's come down onto our back. Option to do this seated on the front of your couch so you can lean back a little bit. I'm going to use a light set of hand weights, so going back to my cans of beans, about 1 pound, and a little bit of upper body with lower body for core. So come onto your back, legs come up to a tabletop, arms extend, unhunch the shoulders. We're going to open the arms out to the side, so a lighter chest fly that we did earlier. And let's have the option to add the lower body. So you can extend one leg, bring it in. You can modify this and just keep your feet on the floor. Good. The next time you come to the center, just hold it there. Let's take our dead bug. One arm extends overhead. The opposite leg extends long below you. Hold it there and pull back to the center. Unhunch the shoulders. Let's take the other set. Arm and opposite leg extend. Hold to the center. Inhale and exhale. So best you can, the arm and opposite leg that stay at the center, that stay at home, can you keep them right where they are? Last 2. Inhale and exhale, last one. Nice job. Set the weights down, take your feet a little wider, and just let the legs shift side to side. All right, coming back to the center with just one weight or weight substitute. We're gonna curl up and hand it off behind one thigh. Rest the head, set the foot down, curl up, hand it off behind the other thigh, set it down. To modify, if you're being gentle with your neck, do this with your head down onto the floor. To intensify, can you use a straighter leg and hand it off behind the calf. You could also extend both legs and alternate one leg coming straight down and straight up and stay lifted in the upper body. Tuck the chin, zip up the belly muscles. 5, 4, make sure you're breathing. 3, 2, and last one. All right, set those off to the side. Let's go back to that bent leg drop. The next time your legs drop to one side, I'm going to go to the right side. Just hold it there. Arms are resting. If you'd like some more stretch for the outer part of your left hip and thigh, take your right foot and gently place it, or I should say your right ankle, and gently place it to the outside of your left knee. So just that little bit of extra weight from your right foot may give you a deeper stretch in the outside of the left hip and thigh, maybe a little bit more into that IT band. Nice full breath. See if you can keep your shoulders down. Safely release the right foot, lift the left knee, lift the right knee, let them fall to the left side. Stay right here if this is plenty. For a little more, rest the left foot, the left ankle, on top of the outer right knee. And notice the difference you feel. So I definitely notice this side A little bit more stretch up into the right hip flexors, even up into the right side of the torso. And gently release the top foot, bring yourself back to the center, tuck the knees in, maybe shift the weight gently side to side. Roll to one side, and we're going to press ourselves up into an all fours position. Now, if kneeling is not a good option, please come to standing and rest your hands to the front edge of your couch. So line up the hands under your shoulders, line up the knees under your hips. We're going to do a little movement for thoracic or the rib cage part of our spine mobilization. Right fingertips behind the right ear. Lift the right elbow, look up, and then turn right elbow to left elbow. So our elbow turns. Inhale, lift, and exhale, turn. Keep going. Now the challenge on this movement, it might look pretty easy, is to keep the hips still. So what we don't want to do is push the hips out and back in. You want to keep the hips level. Unhunch the left shoulder, zip up the belly, one more, and then back to the center. So we'll take right hand under right shoulder. If you need more support for your wrist, you can make a fist and use that in place of your wrist. Left fingertips behind the left ear. We're going to lift the left elbow, maybe take a peek, and then turn left elbow towards the right elbow. So inhale, lift, and exhale, turn. Again, we want to keep the hips still and focus more of this movement in the mid-back, so around the rib cage area of the spine. Two more, and you might feel a big difference when you do one side versus the other side. And let's push the hips back and stretch the arms out overhead. Spread the fingers wide. Even if your hips are lifted, if they're not near the heels, that's okay. And we're going to take our hands for a walk to the left side and push your hips to the right side. Deepen the breath. And then come back to the center. Hands are now going to walk to the right. Let your hips push a little more to the left. Deepen the breath. So we have a nice side seam stretch. And then come back to the center and shift forward. You can do these next couple of stretches seated on the front edge of your couch, or you can stay down on the floor. Let one leg bend, the other leg extend. Roll the shoulders back, option to lean back into your hands and lift the chest. Whatever leg you have straight, can you pull those toes into the shin bone? Another option, bring your hands around in front. Still keep that nice posture. You can begin to hinge forward, and when you start to feel the stretch deepen in the back of your extended leg, hold it there, but careful not to hold the breath. Inhale and exhale. Take your time coming up. Switch your bent leg with your straight leg. Roll the shoulders back, lean back, lift the chest. So if you're feeling really tight this morning, you might feel that just leaning back to your hands is plenty. If you want to explore some more stretch, hands come around in front, keep the chest lifted, or even begin to walk forward. So the more you can stay lifted, the more stretch you're going to notice in the back side of the body. Nice inhale and exhale. And then release. So seated or standing, I'm going to come to a kneeling position. Take your fingers, interlace, flip the palms, press out, and you want to round the upper back. So tuck the chin. We're not worried about good posture here. In fact, we want to separate the shoulder blades. And then reach the arms up overhead. See if you can keep your fingers interlaced and your palms lifting to the sky. See if you can lift your chin. And then separate the hands, reach behind the body. See if you can interlace your fingers. Roll the shoulders back, lift the chin, lift open through the chest. Release, cross one arm across the chest. Use the other hand to pull it in, drop the shoulder. Release the arm, reach up, give yourself a pat on the back and a little stretch for the tricep, whether you're pulling back, pressing back, or reaching back behind. Release and switch. Other arm crosses the chest. Use the other hand to gently draw in. Check in with this shoulder and go ahead and pull it down out of the earlobe. And then release, take that same hand, reach back. Option to press back, pull back, or reach back from behind. And safely release. Shake it out, roll it out. All right. Thank you guys for joining me this morning. All right, so we have the yoga class coming up, I believe, at 1 o'clock with Sarah, so that'll be a nice class. And then later today at 5 p.m. we have our second virtual happy hour, so that info you can get via email from Samantha. It's also up on Facebook, so even if you just want to pop in for a minute and say hi, would love to see you. Again, my name is Catherine, exercise physiologist with the Aging and Wellness Institute. You can check out our Facebook page, our website, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. I hope everyone has a great rest of your Wednesday, and I will see you tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Bye.